tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yes! We're back! Oh, guys, I'm so excited to be back. We've been on break, obviously, but we are now back. Not full force, huh? We're missing Megan.
We'll have her back. Well, no, we won't have her back next week because we don't have an episode next week.
Yeah, this is
Thank
weird,
you,
guys.
Disney airing schedules.
We came back for one episode, and then we got to take another break. Boo!
And when we come back, we'll be on Tuesday, and we will be plus a Megan.
All right, so before we get started, let's get...
We're already started. It's too late.
Before we get started talking about the show, I want to introduce my two very special co-hosts today, and our special guest. I guess you're a guest and a co-host.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Katie, Cullen.
Hi, all my buddies.
And we got, oh my gosh, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's James Arnold Taylor's here.
Well, hello. Yes, the force is strong here today.
Oh,
You
yes.
said we're not full force. We're absolutely full force.
I think you just made his life.
Can we go home now?
Yeah.
See you guys.
We have an episode to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Keep your butt in that seat. You're leading.
Oh, man, I'm too excited. Fan.
Yes.
Gasm.
I didn't want to say it, but yes, that's
It's the
what
term.
it is.
You're going to melt into a little puddle there, and
All
we'll
right.
continue on.
All right, so we're back, and we're back with a very special episode, Path of the Jedi.
Path of the Jedi.
Why are you laughing?
I don't
Do you know
what's so
what
funny
a
about
very special
it. It's a
episode
very
usually
special
means?
It is-
Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, it is.
When you have a special like that, it's about like drug abuse or something.
Oh,
or
no,
alcoholism,
well,
an
when they have
after-school
a
special, it's a very special episode.
It's a very special episode
come on.
because Yoda's here.
That's right.
We've all been waiting. Everyone loves Yoda.
It's just that phrase.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a very special episode. It was very cool, and it was great to hear Yoda. We didn't see Yoda.
Right. No, we don't
They
get to
saved
see
on
him.
some animation dollars there, but they spent them all to get Frank Oz.
That's
to voice
Yeah.
yeah, that's why they had to.
Yeah, although, my good friend Tom Kane, who has been the voice of Yoda for, probably 20 some odd years now, whenever Frank Oz is not the voice, does a fantastic job. And he was very gracious in this because, this happens from time to time where all of us that are the voices of these characters, for the most part, the people from the movies come in and do it. And,
Sure.
That's good. So, it was great. It was great hearing Frank Oz as Yoda again. And you hear all those various places he goes with it that
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
Tom wouldn't go. Or,
And it's really awesome to see in this series they've brought you back to be Obi-Wan in that
Yes.
one episode where you were the
That's right.
holocron.
The most important episode.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was very excited when that happened. I was like, oh, yes, look, it's Obi-Wan.
So was I.
I think you just watch every episode of this with this big ridiculous smile
I
on
do,
your
actually.
face.
Well, it's Star Wars. Come on, that's what you do.
I know.
You should have seen me whenever, like this episode was going. As soon as I heard Yoda's voice, I was like, ah. Like,
Now, did you know that was going to happen beforehand? Did you see the
Yeah.
spoilers and stuff? You knew because somebody had told me that he was going to be in it, but I didn't know it was this episode. So it wasn't
Oh.
until we came in, sat down, and watched it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because I got to follow all
Yeah.
the news and keep track of all this stuff. So I saw, what was it? It was a few weeks ago when they
Oh, yeah.
announced it,
Yeah.
sometime last month, and they were like, "Oh, Path of Jedi when it comes back, Yoda," and I was like, "What?" And I sent out all kinds of tweets. And I was very excited.
And he
But
was
yes,
good.
when he came, I was very excited. But so we had you as Obi-Wan, we
Yeah.
had Frank Oz as Yoda, and we had James Earl Jones come back as Darth Vader.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
right there. You don't need anybody else. We're pretty much
Man,
done.
the show
Yeah.
is done.
Well, the usual voice cast. I mean,
Yeah. No, a fantastic cast.
Yeah.
All very good friends of mine, and they do a fantastic job. And Taylor is just, it's so cool to see him with this character, much like Ashley Eckstein was with Ahsoka, where you've got this new character that everybody kind of at first goes, oh, it's a kid.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? And they become their own thing. And
It's true because
really,
when
yeah.
when I was watching Rebels, at first I was kind of standoffish to Ahsoka. I don't know why. She just was like, I don't
In
know.
Clone Wars,
In
yeah.
Clone Wars, right? But by the end of Clone Wars, Ahsoka was my favorite character.
Well, and that's what I would say. You
Yeah.
know, and obviously, I mean, you know, I host these events, these Star Wars events and stuff, and Ashley is a lot of times my co-host, and I will always say that, and she would joke like, "Oh, you're just saying that because I'm here." It's like, no, honestly, this is the most thoughtful character that really just encompasses the body of Star Wars the best within our show. It really was great. And Dave Filoni was pretty much the creator of that character, with George Lucas, of course. So he has a special place for her.
Oh,
but,
man.
you know, created a really wonderful character.
We, well, maybe it's just me,
Your
but
theory.
I'm constantly just waiting for the day for Ahsoka to come back because, you know, we left off. We don't know what happened.
One never knows.
Yes.
I tell you, if she comes back, they're going to kill her off. It'll be
I
for
know.
that
It's
express
like-
purpose.
that's it, yeah.
No
It's like
news
a-
in this case is the best news.
Oh, no. It's sad because that may be true, but it's like at the same time, I still just want to see her one last time.
I've lived through too much doomed prequelitis to have hope.
I
really have.
I mean, and they're going to make movies that are one-offs and the standalone versions of things. Wouldn't it be great if there was an Ahsoka movie someday?
That would be
yeah.
amazing.
That'd be
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool. So,
All
you never
right.
know. Yeah.
So let's jump into this. We start our show. We got Ezra running around, and Kanan's looking for him and meditating and whatnot. And
As you do.
as you do as a Jedi. That's what you do. And Ezra busts in. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm late." You know, like just he's kind of like he's not giving it his all. It seems like he's not like really ready and focused. And Kanan's kind of getting a little upset with that. He's like, you know. He says, "I'm sorry, I was out hanging with Bean. Sorry for being late or whatever." And he's like, "That's not it. You missed your training. You're late.
You're missing the point.
Right. You're missing the point."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're gonna have to take a real test if we're gonna find out if you're gonna be a Jedi."
This to me felt almost like we were starting in the middle of the episode. I feel like we don't
yeah.
usually hit this tone and this level
It got
of
right to it. They had a
frustration
lot
with
of
everyone
information to get
involved.
to, though,
yeah.
too. So they had to get
That's
to
true.
it. That's
So
interesting.
Ezra apologizes again and says he's ready. I'm going to do it. You know, let's go. So they go off on this test. And Kanan kind of tricks Ezra a little bit and says, "You're going to have to focus and find a Jedi temple. Back in the day, there were 10,000 Jedi and Jedi temples everywhere. Now there's very few. So you gotta think hard and find it." And actually, Ezra does connect to the Force, and he finds it. And he's like, "Wow, it's right here on Lothal. It's right over there. I'll tell you where it's at." And then they walk into the and Kanan turns the autopilot off and says, "Oh, we're here, by the way." So
Yeah, it's that big ice cream cone
Yeah.
that spins around. And I thought that was pretty cool. But, you know, it's like, as Obi-Wan, I'm going, where were these Jedi temples when
Yeah.
I needed them? Really?
On Lothal.
Yeah, come on.
they were on Lothal. Yeah.
So they go in by, it's kind of Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
you know. The
Yeah, and they
doors.
have to use Ezra finds out, like, they have to use the Master and Padawan combo to use the Force. And, you know, when we were watching it, we said, like, wow, they're pretty strong for Jedi. Like, especially, like, a Padawan that never became a knight, and then another one that's
Yeah, there's
kind
some of that
a-
stuff that, you know, I mean, and earlier episodes, too, where Kanan is using the Force in a way where I'm like, that's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. I haven't seen that before, but okay, a little license there, you know. So, yeah, the two of them, now, whether or not Ezra really is
Like,
helping at
super
all
Force, yeah, who
when he
knows?
puts his hand out there and that.
It might. I'm wondering if, like, you know, mysterious Force powers of the Jedi Temple, maybe they can just sense the combo of a Master and a Padawan.
Yeah.
We're just going to help you out there.
Yeah, because
We,
I mean, I feel like their Force essence would have to kind of combine and kind of leaves a little residual on each other because they are Master and Padawan.
And Yoda, as you were talking about, we were watching it, you know, how he's clearly tapped in from Dagobah.
Right.
He's probably giving him a little push, too.
Yeah,
he's helping as well.
You're right. You're right.
well, we've also seen that Ezra is very intuitive with the Force. At least he's gotten pretty good at the Force push. That seems to be where he put all his ability
That's
points.
true. Yeah.
He's good at parties.
If all else
Got this.
fails, I've got the character. I go in terms of D&D character builds.
Yeah. Star Wars.
He's got high charisma, but oh god, the wisdom score.
That was really nerdy for anyone. I don't know if you guys are
We're
paying
on a
attention.
Star
to that.
Wars panel.
But you just brought it to D&D. That's a whole
Yeah,
nother level.
that's
This is not the first time I've done this. You know that.
But I understood the reference, so whatever.
Well, good. Points
I got
points
it.
to the
Yeah,
listeners
okay.
who got it too.
There we go.
Points to my fellow D&D people. We should start a group.
There's been many a D&D group, I can tell you, since I was a kid, way back when.
Oh man, they got all like this new edition that just came out. I heard it was really good.
I haven't played in years, and I miss it.
There's Star Wars RPGs.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's games like that. You create
And they're pretty fun.
Yeah.
I one time rolled. I showed up to like a party that was already going, and they didn't have any Jedi. And I was like, what? And they were like, well, Jedi are very rare. We wanted to not really. And I was like, well, I want to be one, so.
That's the point of a Star Wars RPG if you don't have a Jedi.
Yeah.
So they let me come in, and it was awesome because 2 of our group members got in a fight, and I had the Jedi got to use 2 action abilities at the same time because of having the Force or whatever. So I to stop this fight, I was like a kind of a rebel Jedi. I wasn't really like a full good Jedi. So
Rebel, see what you did there?
Chaotic
Yeah,
good.
see?
That's good. Yeah.
Chaotic good. So what I did to stop the fight was I put a lightsaber up with one hand up to the Wookiee, told him to chill out, and then I force choked the other guy.
Wow. Very good.
Hey, I ended the
Definitely
fight.
chaotic good.
I'm not certain the Jedi would force choke everyone.
Yeah, that's true. I know. I was
Must
kind
be
of bad.
cautious with this.
Chaotic neutral.
I was kind of taking the Anakin approach.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Just solving it.
And you just accused me of making it nerdy,
sorry,
Mr.
yeah.
I made a Jedi in my Star Wars RPG.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yep, that was my bad.
Yeah.
We could swap D&D stories all night, but we got an episode to talk about.
Yeah, let's keep talking about
So they
Kanan
get
and
in there.
Ezra.
They get in the temple.
Right. So they bust in, and what's the first thing Ezra sees?
Dead people.
Dead people.
I
Zoinks like a Scoob.
I don't know if anyone's ever seen Muppet Treasure Island, but all I can think of is we are standing in a room with a dead guy.
Yeah, that's kind of how he screamed, too.
Yeah, he did actually have a big, like a bigger scream than I anticipated.
Yeah. And it's funny because, he's seen him before.
Yeah.
They saw, what was her name? Master Luminara in a previous episode. Did you
but
hear about
there's
that?
dead person
really cool that they
illusion,
did.
and then
yeah,
there's
I saw that.
skeleton. Skeleton's a little different.
That was a dead body inside of remember the
They were kind
Inquisitor?
of mummified, these
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
guys were...
Yeah. So, anyways, Kanan says, look, you got to go in there. You got to go into this temple, and I'm not going with you. This is a solo trip.
Have fun.
And, we all, if we've seen the Clone Wars or we've seen, Empire Strikes Back,
Yeah.
we know that when a master sends you into a cave-like place alone, that you're going to have hallucinations.
Like crazy.
Stuff is going to happen.
And
It's gonna be a
weird
bad
stuff is going to
trip.
happen. And so that's obviously, it was pretty clear where that was going. And Kanan makes a reference he's like, I'm going to stay out here with these guys. And
Masters whose Padawans never came back.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I'd buy that.
No.
What if, these masters, they're just, well, I guess I'm just going to sit here and die.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Kanan really, he has a flair for the dramatic
Yeah.
when he's getting into Jedi Master mode. The whole, and so it shall be, or their Padawans never came back, or
He's got
just,
no one
he
to-
really likes
to
this dramatic
Come
stuff.
in and back up the things. Like, no, he's nuts because there's no other Jedi
Right,
around.
that's
So
true.
he's living kind of this glorified version of it all now.
Yeah,
too,
he's
right?
like
he can say whatever he
He's a
wants.
cool cowboy Jedi.
Yeah.
He just does what he wants.
I feel like Yoda's watching this and just eating popcorn. Buying it, he is.
So I think actually what my first thought was those guys were using that temple kind of as a hideout to hide from the Empire.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
makes the most sense. I think it really does. Yeah.
And maybe they just lived there until they got old and just died meditating or something,
Yeah.
Pull the old Jedi.
Yeah.
Meditation to death.
I was looking to see if they were anybody that we knew. The one looked like it wasn't Stacey 10. But the one with
the little horn thing.
horns there, yeah.
He looked familiar.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was a nod.
I'm gonna have to go look at it and then go look at the Wikipedia of Jedi and try to figure out which one it was.
The Wikipedia has probably already figured out who they are, if
probably
they are
do, right?
anybody.
Yes.
Or if one of you guys have figured it out, be sure to let us know.
Let us know. Our commenters are really smart.
Yes, and they
imagine.
will research things very well for us.
Okay.
So that's good. And so what happens now is Ezra rolls in, and he goes into the cave, and immediately, the vision almost starts immediately. He's
Yeah.
in, and he's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And Kanan walks in and goes, this is how you're going to do it? Come on now. And he just, walks through one. And Ezra doesn't realize he's in a vision, so he actually thinks, oh, Kanan
Yeah,
just
he
came
thinks
in
he's
after
there,
me.
yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, why? I thought you told me I was going to do this by myself.
Well, and that parting shot, I thought you were going to do this. I had second thoughts.
Uh-huh.
And that
I think,
that's
and that
gonna
stems
go,
from Ezra's thoughts that Kanan doesn't fully trust him.
Yeah, it's his own inability to believe in himself enough, and
And that I want to talk about that more after we get through the rest of the hallucinations. Because I'm seeing character arcs here, and this is the stuff I like.
If I had a dime for every time someone said, "I want to take after the hallucinations," we got to really discuss this.
Hallucination.
What kind of parties do you go to?
Jedi parties.
Crazy Star Wars parties.
Don't drink the blue milk.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Anyways, gosh, it's hard to stay on topic with you here because I just want to make Obi-Wan jokes out there.
I'll do Master Plo Koon instead.
Ooh, Plo Koon's actually one of my favorites.
He's one of my favorites too.
He's really
actually our director Dave Filoni's favorite character, and so that was a great honor when I got to actually
that's awesome.
be the voice of him for all those years.
I was really, really, really upset. I can't even go into it too much without saying, bad words that shouldn't be on our show.
Sure.
How they killed Plo Koon.
But did they really
Okay,
kill
well,
him,
I haven't
though?
finished the Clone Wars yet, so...
No,
it's in the movie.
It's not in the Clone Wars. It's in the movie.
Yeah, it's in the movie. Remember, he was the one that...
Oh, yeah.
He was flying.
He goes down, but see...
You see a big explosion.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
As the
It's
voice
been
of
a while.
Plo Koon, I'd like to think I used the Force and got out of there.
I hope so.
It's comic book rules. No body, no death.
That's true.
That's right.
This is how I function.
Yeah, and he was a Master Jedi, so he could easily gotten
got
out and then stayed hidden, just known I'm gone.
There's some pretty cool fan films that people have made of what actually happened.
Okay.
Yes, how it should have ended for one particular
We just
character.
need Star Wars Lucas to make that canon.
Back to the
Bring him back.
hallucinations.
All right, back to the
That's what we're doing here now. We're going off tangent like they, and
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not hallucinating.
Ezra
That's fan fiction.
Yeah.
All right, so right after he sees Kanan, he obviously the next person we're going to see is the Inquisitor because he's the big bad of our show and he's awesome. So I like it when he shows up. But you had some thoughts, you and Megan.
Can I just say that this... Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite parts of the episode because if you didn't know it was a hallucination before, you do now. For one, Kanan goes down pretty easily. For another,
you know what?
They really focus in on the Inquisitor and he's just mugging for the camera and doing those faces.
The artists had fun.
Really, dude?
Wouldn't you too,
Really?
though? Like, if you were, awesome bad guy? I'd always be, looking at the other Jedis and be like, hey, gotcha.
Not everyone's game face looks good, but this was scenery chewing.
Oh, yeah.
It was glorious and hilarious. It's like, yeah, he's definitely tripping right now because it doesn't usually happen.
But it was very much a Qui-Gon death.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It was certainly hearkening back to that. So,
Right, yeah, same idea. Padawan watches his master get taken out, and then, what do I do?
Yep.
And the Inquisitor is kind of, out of all the Sith, the Inquisitor is kind of on that same evil level as Darth Maul. When you look at him, you're just like, oh, God.
Yeah, he's spooky looking.
Yeah, so, because I feel like a lot of them, maybe Asajj was kind of spooky looking. And
he almost looks like he could be a brother to
yeah, they do kind of look like they could, hang out and fight together.
I don't want to be at that family reunion. No. That would get ugly.
We see the Inquisitor kill Kanan. Then we, Ezra kind of jumps off a cliff to get away from him or kind of falls off.
off.
He falls off.
Let's be clear. He falls
You know what's funny is...
There's a lot of falling.
I say jump because in my mind I was like, jump. Just jump off the cliff.
Just get out of there.
The Luke, that's not true.
Yeah,
jump off, let yourself go.
Yeah, trust the Force.
Yeah, he didn't do that.
But he fell. Let's be real. So he goes down there. Now all of a sudden he's on Ghost.
Yeah.
And he sees...
And everybody's there.
Yeah,
the rest of the
he
crew.
hears the crew talking he's not coming back. Oh, he can't do it. So this again is Ezra being like, nobody has faith in me. Nobody trusts me. I'm a loser.
Yeah, no, but I think this is great that you're seeing this extra layer of it because I think most people just kind of go, oh, is it just hallucination?
Yeah.
It's no, these are the parts that need to be fixed in him before he can actually go. And, So. Yeah.
Well, and Megan pointed this out the other night when we were watching it, that usually when you see something like this, they're hallucinating people, not caring about them. It's the I always hated you the most sort of over the top. And this was very believable and definitely something they'd say. And it also speaks to how Ezra sees everyone. Well, Zeb just, he's gone, whatever.
Right.
Hera sees him as a tool. And Sabine, whose respect he wants, pities him.
Yeah.
And so it's the difference between each character, and it's basically the worst thing he could have heard any of them say.
Which it speaks to his strength because he pulls through. because he
Yes.
moves on, and in the very next
And then
scene,
faces the Inquisitor
he sees
again.
the Inquisitor
This goes
again,
well.
and this is where he's like, you know what? I'm not afraid. You know, I'm only afraid to, what do you say? I'm afraid to fail my master, and I'm afraid to. He said one other thing, but it was not. He wasn't afraid of dying.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid of him, and that's the biggest thing. You have to be. Just let it go. And so the Inquisitor strikes him down, but he wakes
Or
up.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those difficult things, though, as a fan of Star Wars, where you see this and you go, okay, this is before Luke, this is before A New Hope, this is before Empire, any of those, and yet they're actually using lines from those movies.
Right.
They're even referencing those, and then his character essentially does what Luke couldn't do.
Right.
So to a degree, you
yeah.
kind of go, wait a second,
Because Luke
time
couldn't do
out.
that. He fought him and had to kill him.
Yeah, but he didn't have that realization,
right.
you know, until really afterwards.
yeah.
He sees his own head, and he still didn't really know what it means. So there's, all of us have grown as Star Wars fans, and we know where things can go and where they can't go, and so they're taking it to new places. But at the same time, they've got to be really careful to walk a line of what's already been out there
Right.
and where it fits into the story.
Right.
And that's a tricky place. I don't envy.
Right, and we were talking about in the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
there was a whole arc where a bunch of younglings go off on their quest to go in basically into these kind of caves, and find kyber crystals so they can make their lightsabers, and that's like the quest that all young Jedi have to do. And they had there was 5 of them, 6 of them,
Yeah.
something. So they all go into their own little cave, and they all have their own little experiences, and they all manage to get through too. So it was very like that. It was kind of
Yeah,
one
it
of
was
those
still
episodes.
in that same vein. Yeah, which I think was really cool. That was
Yeah.
a great episode.
I like
on
that.
Yeah, I thought it could have played really corny, and it didn't. And
Yeah, you know, and I think they are giving this to us as fans a lot of let us see them go on these journeys and make these lightsabers, because back when the original movies came out, everyone wanted that with Luke. We were like, oh, where did he get his lightsaber? When he go make his? Because he came back with the green one, and we were like, oh,
Yeah.
where did he get that?
Magic.
yeah.
There actually is a deleted scene
where
that
he's
shows
building
him building it, but
That's right.
I am not surprised that you know that.
well, you know.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't know that?
It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying I am
that.
not
I'm gonna send it to you,
surprised.
Katie. You can
Of course
watch it.
you are. You send me
But
everything.
where did he get the kyber crystal?
Exactly,
I mean, we
that's
don't know
what I
that. I mean,
want.
obviously,
Magic.
well, Yoda.
Yeah,
Yoda
well,
would have had it.
sure.
And given it to him. But that would have been a neat scene.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he had to do another cave somewhere or something. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Running out of caves, we are.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see. But so I feel like now we get that through all these other means, and we get to see all these other Jedi. So now we kind of know this is how all Jedi do it. They have to go through this test. So he gets through this, and Yoda comes and he starts guiding him along. And did he even ask Yoda who he was? No, I think he did for once, and he's like, it doesn't matter, just go. And he didn't
I'm
really.
a guide.
Yeah.
He said, I'm a guide. And
Which I misheard as I'm a guy and had a moment of what?
It would have been guy I am.
Yeah, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So he talks to Yoda. I guess he doesn't care. He's just like, all right, you're cool, you're a guide, let's do this.
But then they're doing the Kanan.
But then they do
ones
the
too, and
Kanan, right.
is talking to him from where
And
he
that
is.
was
And
fun
Kanan
because
knows who he
Kanan
is.
knows
Knows
Yoda.
him, yeah.
And like the breakdown he kind of has when he hears, you got to think about Kanan. He hasn't seen another Jedi
Yeah.
in what? He was 14 and now he's like 30 something, right? Isn't that?
Well, he's only seen one very important Jedi.
Oh, that's
he
right.
watches
And
him
the holocron.
constantly.
Yeah, he just probably watches him every night before he goes to sleep.
yeah.
Oh,
As you do.
Obi-Wan.
Well, and he's seen a very dead Jedi.
That's true.
That went
Yeah,
well.
Several of them. Several. Yeah.
So,
One most recently.
Yeah.
but he hasn't like spoken to one like in actual like.
Let alone
Yeah.
Yoda.
Yeah, and Yoda, the
Yeah.
Grand Master Jedi. So that's a big deal. So he starts tripping for a minute, like, no, this can't be real. This can't be real. And he's like, no, it's
I'm
real.
not supposed to be the one hallucinating. He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Whereas Ezra's just like, hey, it's another hallucination. Let's roll with
Which
it.
was cool because it made it like this was actually a path that Kanan needed to go down too. It was training not only for Ezra, it was training for Kanan, because Kanan needed to fully accept that he has taken on a Padawan. He was kind of like, yeah, I got a Padawan, but I'm not really master. I'm just kind of helping this guy. He needed to sit down and say, like, yes, I am Ezra's master. He is my Padawan. We have a connection, and we're going to do this.
It's an interesting thing. Again, see, I'm always, maybe too close, but it's like if you read the book Kenobi, for example, and it talks about Ben's time on Tatooine watching over Luke and the things that happen, and it's great. It's a great book. I recommend it to people. But throughout the book, Obi-Wan is trying to commune with Qui-Gon through the Force.
Right.
And this infers that Yoda has that even now, because Rebels is going on around that. It's at that same
Right,
time
right.
period. So he is showing Kanan. So I mean, it's basically it's the same phone line. You know what I mean? That they're all communicating
line.
on. Yeah.
The only thing I could try to make an excuse for out of this
Yes,
is
please.
that in the very last few episodes that we got to see of the Clone Wars before they went off, was
Are you okay?
I made him cry.
Do you need help?
I'll be over here.
Get back over here. You're going to be out of frame.
We get to see Yoda go on these great quests that Qui-Gon kind of helped lead him on.
Yeah.
And when Qui-Gon reached out to him on Coruscant, Yoda was the only one that could hear him.
Yeah.
Because Yoda, I think at the time, Yoda was the only one that was strong enough in the Force to hear this coming through, because I think Qui-Gon never finished his training.
No, and he questioned it too. Yoda
questioned it.
Yeah,
right.
so then, that was the beginning of all of that.
So that's what I think is probably what's happening is Qui-Gon didn't finish his training, so he didn't get the full, I can reach out and come at you anywhere like Yoda can do. But also, remember, Qui-Gon sends Yoda to Dagobah because Dagobah's very strong in the Force, and it's kind of like an amplifier, you know?
Yep.
I told Katie, it's kind of like...
It's Cerebro.
Right, Cerebro from X-Men. When Professor X goes in the room, now he can broadcast throughout the world, but when he's out of it...
Yes.
See?
Professor Charles Xavier. I've been the voice of in Lego.
Oh, and the Lego game.
It's just
Do
cheap,
any
shameless
Jedi ever
plugs
finish
from
their
my
No, I
training?
love it. It's great. I just sit around and listen to the voices
Do
all
any
day.
Jedi
Ever finish their training? This seems
Well,
to be a
Luke-
running theme.
Luke, between Empire and Jedi, when he comes back.
And Obi-Wan,
His was atypical.
And Yoda actually finished that training so that he could be able to speak through the Force and come back as a like a ghost or spirit. And he actually, at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he tells Obi-Wan, hey, I got this mission that you got to go on before you go start working on Luke. So it's assumed, and I guess it's pretty much known, that Obi-Wan goes off and does the same thing that Yoda did.
Yeah, I mean, Obi-Wan is, obviously I'm biased, but he is the one character that you see as a through line, and truly also the only other Force ghost you're going to see at the end of Jedi there with Anakin and Yoda. It's like, well, yeah, he's accomplished something that
so
others couldn't.
he went and finished it just because Yoda pointed it out how to do.
Yeah.
So that's probably why Obi-Wan couldn't talk to Qui-Gon, because Qui-Gon was.
That's sweet of you to try to.
Yeah, that's all. I feel like it was just because of Qui-Gon. Obi-Wan could have done it, just not Qui-Gon.
Sure. Okay.
Even though I love Qui-Gon and he's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, he's awesome.
See, I'm kind of in the ignorance is bliss corner over here because I just really enjoyed the episode. And you guys are like, plot holes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even see them.
No,
I don't even see them.
There's a big plot hole to that whole idea of them being Force ghosts too. Is well, how did Anakin do it? Because he didn't go off on those quests. But Anakin was the chosen one.
So
it's.
I don't even see
they
it.
had a freebie and they went, oh, I'll use it.
We'll use
That guy.
Yeah, sure.
But I actually had a thought to that too. Was that remember when Yoda was doing it? The Emperor and Count Dooku actually went and tried to stop him and stop him. So maybe the Emperor knew about it and he told Vader.
I mean, if you look at Vader at the end of Jedi, he's making the ultimate sacrifice, and so
Maybe
I believe
that's
that
too,
he really, as the chosen one.
But
full of the
he
Force
also could
more,
have found it in his many years of traveling the galaxy.
in his little chamber
In his
and everything
and
too.
hunting down all these Jedi. He could have came across these crazy Force planets and been like, oh, hey, what's this? Let me figure this out.
Well, just because he went to the dark side does not mean he didn't.
I think we need to get back on topic.
No way. This is
But
awesome.
just because he went to the dark side doesn't mean
Star
that he
Wars
wasn't
theory.
still plugged into
That's
the
true.
Force
Right.
in every possible way. So, but yeah, so they now Yoda is guiding them through this, but Ezra makes that.
Yes.
And
He makes the
Inquisitor swipes
connection
through
right.
him.
And Yoda's helping him. He wants to hear Ezra say that he feels.
Oh, and there's that
Yeah.
scene too.
Right.
Yeah, where he's asking him what is it about it. And
Because he asked him, "What do you want to be a Jedi?" And he's like, "Oh, I want to protect my friends. I want to get back at the Empire." And he starts
He
to
starts talking about
started
revenge.
with
yeah, he starts talking about
Revenge.
revenge. And Yoda even says,
Did your master teach you that?
he
Come
says,
on,
yeah,
do the voice. Do the
Oh,
voice.
do the voice.
Come
Oh.
on, do the voice. I've done it.
Jedi way is revenge? Your master teach you this?
And
Very
Yoda,
good. See, that's good.
yeah, I need some practice.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yoda basically is saying like, so your Jedis do revenge. That's
what we
what's
do.
going on,
Yeah,
huh?
that's our thing.
Does your master teach you that? And he's like, no, Ezra. I mean, Kanan would never do that. And he's like, and he goes, then why do you want it? He's like, no, I don't. I just want to protect them.
What I love about this, what I love about the parallelism between showing the conversation with Kanan and the conversation with Ezra, is that just looking at their relationship, they are both so ready to stick up for the other person and to put themselves down.
Right.
Kanan fully believes Ezra can do it, but he doesn't think he's capable as a master.
Right.
And the second
Ezra is
someone
the
says,
opposite.
maybe your master did that. No, don't you talk about my master that way. He's amazing. I need work.
Yeah. They both have great respect for each other, but they're very
and
humble.
low self-esteem. So this is either going to work really well in their favor, or it's going to be mutually assured destruction.
So once he gets Ezra to say like, no, I feel it. Now he's like, yes, that's it. Feel it. You have to feel the Force. And then at the same time, he's talking to Kanan, and Kanan's explaining why, like, I don't think I'm a good master. Like, we need to train him, blah, blah, blah. And then he says close to the same thing, like, I feel it. And then Yoda's like, there it is. Hey, you guys are getting it.
That's it.
And then that's when he tells Ezra, like, Jedi you may be. So Ezra, and then he Force, I guess he did it. Force floats a kyber crystal down.
It looked like Tron.
It was awesome.
It looked like Tron.
And the whole room turned into like this crazy star room.
And he's holding his hands up, and I'm telling you, it looks like Tron.
It kind of does.
I cannot
Tron.
unsee Space
Disney
Tron. What do you think
connection
Tron really
there.
is?
you go.
Gotta tie them all in.
Jedi Aladdin, Space Tron.
Remember that really great series we did that got canceled? We're going to throw back to that in this particular scene.
Don't let's not go there.
Okay, come on.
I love
You're
Tron,
bringing the room
and you're making
down,
me sad. I want to
That's
see
my
the
job.
MCP come back.
No, it was cool, and it was blue.
It was blue.
It was blue.
That's the first thing I looked for
It's a
too.
good circle.
When I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, what color is his lightsaber going to be?"
They must do it after their eyes, because Obi-Wan's eyes are blue as well. So yes.
Well, I thought it was the old. I guess they don't mention this in canon anywhere, but they used to do it in video games. But it was the whole like blue is for a Jedi Guardian, right? Or Jedi Knight, and green was a counselor. Jedi Guardian for blue, Jedi Counselor for green. Like they had different kind of
is
classes.
for Samuel Jackson.
And basically,
Purple is
blue.
Whatever Samuel wants.
Yeah.
Samuel gets. Because he wanted to stand out in battles. That's
Purple
the
is
reason.
for BMFs. You know what that means. So,
That would be
it was
Banff.
it was
You're
kind of
missing
like
a
a
letter.
class system of Jedis to where like Obi-Wan, he's more of he's a fighter and he's really good at it. But Yoda's green because he's really strong in the Force. So like green was like people who are more like Force oriented. Blue was more like.
But Anakin's was.
He was blue too. Yeah. And
So
he was
that kinda
both,
throws that whole thing out.
because he was he's special. He's
whatever he
very special.
He's the chosen one. The rules don't apply.
I think what best describes Anakin is in that one scene where he fights Count Dooku and he has the red and blue.
Yeah.
Because he's that's
Right there.
Anakin.
And that's how you make the purple one.
Yeah, there you go. See? We're figuring things out over here, guys. All right.
I want to see Sam Jackson over Dooku. Say what again? Oh, no. Check out the big brain on Dooku. Okay, sorry.
No, this is great.
Cross-combining.
We love it. This is fantastic.
It's like I do in my stage show. I do a whole bit where I do Obi-Wan as Christopher Walken.
Oh, my
Like
God.
the scene from Pulp Fiction with the watch.
And he says, "This lightsaber was your father's. Gave it to me. Now I give it to you. I had to hide it in the one place I knew I could. My R2 unit.
This is amazing.
I hid this lightsaber in my R2 unit for many years. And now, little man, I give this lightsaber to you." Wow.
That's how he delivers This is great.
No, I gotcha.
Now we need. This needs to happen. Oh my gosh. You need to record a whole little, episode of this, and we'll get someone to animate it.
I have it animated. It's in my stage show. You can see me do that live. It plays in front of me on the big screen, and then I animate it. It's a little Christopher Walken.
There you go, guys. Look for that. Find that.
You can find that on JamesArnoldTaylor.com. Look under stage show. It's all right there. You can see my whole show talking to myself.
Tweet the link after the
There
show.
it is.
Tweet the link.
There you go.
Oh man, this is awesome. I'm gonna go home and watch that immediately. All right,
I get the feeling that you're going to go home and just collapse into a puddle of glee.
Come on.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get in the wreck on the way home because I'm just so excited.
No,
Well, we know you
don't
won't
do
be able to
that.
watch Rebels again because you got to wait a whole other week. I'm sorry to bring it back down to that, but isn't that also the best part though? Is it makes you want to watch more and it gets you.
And
gets
and that's what we're
discussions.
talking about this show. We brought this up at the beginning of this series. Is that even though like it's different, the animation's different. We're getting used to it now, and like it's a story that we weren't like, where did this come from? Whatever. But it's great and we love it. The best thing about it is just to have Star Wars, like just to have new, fresh Star Wars content. Is always so amazing.
Yeah.
And everyone loves it.
I understand there's a movie that's going to come out too at some point.
Is there?
Yeah, I don't
a new
know.
one?
Maybe not. I don't
Do you
know.
want to
know
talk
about
about that theory? Do we have news and
Yes.
Let's finish the episode.
Yeah, okay, let's
first.
finish it, and we're going to
So,
go
well,
into
yeah,
some-
he's got his crystal.
So he got his crystal.
He comes out to Kanan.
Kanan, and he shows Kanan the crystal. And this was actually, I laughed like a nerd at this.
Comedy gold.
What's the line? What's it?
Kanan says, "Oh, that's a kyber crystal," and Ezra goes, "Oh, wow." What's
a kyber crystal?
Say what now? Yeah.
I liked his reaction of like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Yeah.
What is it?
That's a comedy staple.
Yeah, it's so
That's-
good.
But it's teaching kids that
Yeah.
comedy
Yes.
staple, which I
Yes,
like.
there you
Sure.
go.
Yeah, there you go. Bring it in.
And then he explains to me, he goes, "That's a lightsaber crystal, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Get with the
Like,
times."
oh, that makes more sense now.
And then what does he do with it?
Yes, and
Builds a
now,
lightsaber.
like every Jedi, he has to go and construct his own lightsaber.
He builds himself a staple gun.
Yeah.
It's what the
what I
guard
like
looks
about
like.
it
It
is
looks like a
because that
staple
was the
gun.
first thing I thought of
Yeah.
too. Was
He
Yes.
builds it out of all of this extra parts in the ship, and even Chopper donated a part,
Which means it will immediately be broken.
it's going to blow up and kill him. Because we still stand by the theory that Chopper is trying to kill every one of them.
Well,
Chopper is an evil
You
Sith
stand by the
droid.
theory that he's evil. I just think he's useless.
and everybody knows that who the voice of Chopper is, right? People know.
See, I didn't know until you told me.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a real. I don't know if maybe I can't say.
Oh, well.
Is it on IMDb? Because
Well,
if
look
it's
it
on
up.
I don't know if it
IMDb,
is.
it's not a secret.
Everyone researched that. We don't
But
know if we
I
can
know
say.
who the actual voice, the person that is in the room doing the sounds of that, and let's just say I've worked with him for quite a long time.
There you go.
Yes.
Hints.
But yeah, he's a bit of a pill, isn't he?
Yeah,
sometimes,
no Chopper. And he always, seriously, sometimes it feels like he's really trying to kill Ezra.
Ezra has had more near-death experiences
From
at
Chopper
Chopper's hands
than
than he
anyone
has
else.
from the
Yeah.
Inquisitor and the
If I was
Stormtroopers
Ezra,
combined.
I would see the Inquisitor and be like, "I'm not afraid of you. I deal with this guy every day."
Every day, sure.
He threw me off a roof. He threw me off a ship. He's attempted to murder me more than
So-
once. Top that.
So, about the staple gun lightsaber, I don't know if you guys noticed, but on the front there's a little
Blaster
point,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
and you can even see a little trigger on it. So what he has done is kind of made a crazy blaster saber.
Yes. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
About the whole blow up and kill him theory.
So what would be crazy cool to see is him like in a lightsaber duel, and then in the middle of holding a block like a parry, just pull the trigger and shoot the guy.
An elegant weapon.
Yeah. So like, man,
More
he's
civilized age.
he's-
Oh, never mind.
yeah,
Bringing a
he's
gun
cheater.
and a sword to a sword
Yeah.
fight.
Ezra's a cheater. Nah, but it's okay. It's smart. No other Jedi had done that before, and I guess he's using his street
Oh
tactics.
my god, it's a gunblade. It's Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
it's a gunblade, right?
Final Fantasy.
Hey, we got a Final Fantasy
Final
right
Fantasy
here.
10. Right
Yeah,
there,
we
sure.
do.
All right, so that's the episode, guys. We get to see Ezra and Kanan go through a little bonding experience in a Jedi temple, and Ezra gets his lightsaber, and we get to hear Yoda give him a little teaching
Very nice.
lesson. But
It was so good for character.
It was good.
I love character arcs.
before we go, though, I want to talk to you about some of the things. Oh, tell us about this is a fun little thing he told me before we were getting in here
so
about
just
the
a little-
pitch of.
So, with every cartoon, every show, not just cartoons, animated shows, but any show, generally they'll come up with a pitch, and you'll have the whole thing just showing the execs and stuff what it's going to be like. And most of the time it's animatic type animation. It won't be the full animation. So they made one for Rebels before that. And since it was all still where we were all still under the NDAs, it was myself. I was actually the voice of Kanan.
Oh.
And
That's pretty
D.
exciting.
Bradley Baker was Zeb, and Catherine Tabor was both Hera and
Sabine.
Sabine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'd like to. I wish I could hear that. But I mean, I love these voice guys too. The ones that are doing it now. They're amazing.
No, it's everybody's great. Tia is fantastic, and Taylor and Freddie is great, and Vanessa Marshall is a dear friend that has been doing voiceover forever. So. Well, she's very young. I didn't mean to say that. But pros at it.
Right.
You know, you've got great on-camera actors that are now doing voice, and then you've got great voice actors. And Steve Bloom, who is Zeb, is one of the best, most talented
He's
voice actors out
He's
there.
been in everything.
So, you know, I mean, that's the thing is, you know, we knew going in that this would not be, we wouldn't be the voices of that, but we
Maybe
were
you're just helping him pitch it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so my Kanan was
a little more Johnny Depp. It had a little more in this. In
Whoa.
yes, but
That'd be a way different character.
a much different character. But yes, he was voiced right about there. So,
Oh, wow. That's like, man, that's hardcore, Kanan.
of course, if he drinks, you
Then
know,
he
Yeah,
turns
that's
into
what
wasn't
happens.
there a concept where he was a heavy drinker for a while? Wasn't that part of the character?
Wouldn't you be a heavy drinker if you saw what he saw?
In the book,
Yep.
A New Dawn, he was like always at a bar. He was like a bartender on his side, and he was drinking all the time. But
that doesn't play as well on Disney XD.
yeah, no, you can't.
It really doesn't.
But remember they had the
Right next to Wander Over Yonder.
Katie,
yeah.
remember the episode where he pretended to be drunk?
That was amazing.
That was good. So.
Woo, party.
And we did that in the Clone Wars too.
Yeah.
Anakin and Obi-Wan had a couple where we were with the pirates and had to pretend to be drunk. Yeah.
You know what I never thought of was this episode where Obi-Wan had to go undercover as the bounty hunter.
Reiko Hardin.
Yes. I don't know why I didn't think about
Is
this,
that
but
the name they used?
yeah.
Reiko Hardin.
He was Reiko Hardin
I was.
and Obi-Wan. So it's a cool little transition.
We got to
there.
do the thing where I
swallowed the little spider thing that changed my voice into Reiko Hardin.
It was awesome. So there it is. So I didn't even. I don't know why I didn't think about it. Obviously, yes, they would use you for both voices because you're playing the.
Well, it was pretty cool too because they were like Dave Filoni, our director at the time. He's like, okay, you have to make it very different from Obi-Wan because we don't want George to think that it's the same actor. We want him to really, you know, because he might then kind of go, oh, you got the same guy. We want it to be completely separate. But Dave was very kind to go, I know you can do that. So we we did that, and it was great. I actually had a really bad allergy attack when we recorded that episode.
Oh.
So my voice was
even lower than usual. So Hardin is down here.
Yeah.
They put just a little pitch in him as well. So,
Oh, okay.
But,
Okay.
Yeah, I killed Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was this kind of guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was
he was
awesome.
great. He was a great character.
And I say this every single episode because every single time we record something, I bring up Clone Wars because
Well,
it was
God
amazing.
bless you. Thank you.
And I tell everyone, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yeah, it's on
Every
Netflix. Come on, you can see
single
every one of them.
Every time.
Every one of them. They're fantastic. Yeah.
So let's go into news and gossip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
See, here we are, news and gossip. News. Celebration is coming up. Celebration
Yes.
Anaheim, right?
Star Wars Celebration Anaheim. It's April 16th through the 19th at the Anaheim Convention Center, right next to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Convenient. And I'm going to be the host of the main stage, and it's going to be a great time. It's about 5,000 seat arena there that you can see so many different people in the Star Wars world. I'll be interviewing, and it's my second year hosting Celebration, and it is an amazing event. I really encourage people, if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're not like a huge Star Wars fan, come to this event.
Oh, yeah, just
because
go.
you will become
Just
one.
go.
Because the community of Star, I mean, you go to a regular con, and it's always great, the community of people.
Oh, yeah.
But a Star Wars one, specifically for Star Wars, and you've got, 60, 70,000 Star Wars fans coming together
That's awesome.
under one roof. And it's just really awesome. I've always said, as somebody that works in the world of Star Wars, that the fan base of Star Wars is the kindest, most generous group of fans. But when you get them all together like that, it's fun. So I'll be doing my stage show there. We just announced that there will be Kyle Newman, our good friend that did the movie Fanboys.
Oh, right, Fanboys.
Kyle,
yeah.
married to Jamie King, who is, of course, on Clone Wars and such as Aura Singh.
Sure.
Kyle will be directing for the second time. We did this at the other celebration, Smuggler's Gambit, which is a live radio play. And we will have live sound effects and music being mixed and all
There
of
you
that.
go.
And we'll all be a part of it, and I'll be playing various characters. Who knows? Who I'll
So
be.
now you're speaking my language.
Yes,
Yes,
it is gonna be
All
exciting.
radio
Okay,
plays.
so you have to come and see that. That'll be great. And it'll be on the main stage there. There's going to be other ones. They'll announce them as we go. As it gets closer, they'll announce some of the special guests. I know them, and I could tell you, but then I'd have to use the Jedi mind trick, so I won't. do
Okay,
that here.
all right. Let's
But,
not ask for
These
that.
are not the guests you're looking
But
for.
Star Wars Celebration, April 16th through the 19th. Get your tickets. You can go to StarWarsCelebration.com and get your tickets. Please do. It's going to be a really fantastic event.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm like so excited. And guys, don't forget, this is the year Episode 7 comes out.
Yes.
They're gonna probably
There might be
something
a
there.
thing or
Come
two
on, think
about
about it.
Episode 7 in
I
there.
know, it's
Sure.
kind of a big thing.
The
maybe.
Force Awakens. Yes, we
Just
should
a
say.
little.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Also, can we talk about your Star Wars weekend?
So Star Wars Weekends is another huge event that happens at Disney World at the Hollywood Studios in Disney World, Florida. And I have hosted that for the last 4 years. So come on out and see that.
When is that?
That will be May 15th through June 16th or so.
Okay,
Somewhere
there you
in
go.
it's
Plan ahead.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
Okay.
We did 5 weeks last year. We were doing
Go
5 weeks
every
this
weekend.
year. Last year it was great because we got to introduce the Rebels cast.
Oh, nice.
And we had all of them come out. Freddie was the only one that didn't join us. He had other things happening at the time, so I'm hoping we could get him out there. We don't know.
He's going to
yet.
be at, well, I don't know him, but the Rebels, they're going to be at Celebration, right?
They
I think.
will most certainly.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
How could they not?
How could they
All
not?
right.
Right.
But
So-
yeah, they haven't. I don't think they've announced everything officially yet there. But you have to imagine that all the folks from Rebels will be there, and I'm sure some of our old Clone Wars friends will show up. And because we all are big Star Wars fans. That was the greatest thing about that show is we're fans of Star Wars. So we all show up at these things.
All right. And now for the gossip, Katie. I know you've been waiting. And we got the gossip section now. All right, guys. I saw some fan theories because we saw some what was it, leaked concept art maybe from episode 7.
Yeah, see, I
try to stay away from it, but sometimes
it.
it just hits me in the face and I can't. I gotta look at it.
Well, I try to stay away from it, but I follow you
And
on
it-
Twitter,
yeah, I know.
and
So there you go.
And I make her look at it. I force her to look at it.
Katie, Megan, look at this! Oh my God!
And the only reason
then I rain on your
I even
parade.
looked at it was because it had Kanan in the title, and I was like, I got to look at this. So we've long heard speculation that they were going to try and tie in, all the series together, even Rebels, and we even heard at the beginning of Rebels that some things in Rebels would make their way to this new movie, but we don't know what. It could just a ship or maybe a droid, Chopper rolls by in a scene or something. Who knows?
Right.
You expect Chopper to survive that long?
Well, look how long he survived already. He's
That's
already like
true.
spare junk parts just built together. So
He's like one of those green screen Macs that you keep in your basement that
They
just
could
don't die.
Do the special edition of A New Hope and put him in there with the Jawas.
there you go.
In the background.
And he just drives off. So there was some concept art of like this old, like grizzled veteran who's been around from the Clone Wars, and he's old enough to have seen the Clone Wars. He's got like cybernetic implants and things or whatever. And one of the speculations is like they think that maybe because he hangs out in a bar. He likes to drink, and we know that Kanan did that in A New Dawn. These are how wild speculations go.
It's fandom.
It's fun,
They're
though.
filling in the blanks as best they can. Fandom, I love you when you do this. You're great.
Yes. Who else could be someone old enough to have been in the Clone Wars, knows about Jedi,
Yes.
And drinks in a bar?
Well, it's not Obi-Wan.
A character we haven't met yet.
It could be Plo Koon, but it's not because he.
Right. So
Because
He's not human, yeah.
anyways, the speculation is that Kanan may survive, may be this guy, and I think they said even the speculation is that Max von Sydow might be this guy.
Wow.
So that would be awesome.
So the smart
But we'll
alecky
see.
thing I brought into the conversation was, so where's the rest of the crew?
Right.
I'm a firm believer in doomed prequelitis, but I'm also a
No.
Kingdom Hearts fan. So if that's Kanan, I doubt any of the rest of them survive.
and
No, they're living in a loft together. It's a wacky comedy. It'll be a spin-off. And
if that's Kanan, I doubt that any of the rest of them survived.
And someone brought up a good point to me is that we can't jump too crazy into this. I know Max von Sydow is a magnificent actor, and he's always awesome. But remember when... I can't remember his name, but he was the old General Zod from the old Superman movies.
oh, yes.
Remember he was cast in episode 1, and everyone freaked out, like, "Oh, he's going to be an awesome Sith Lord" or something like that.
Is it Terrence? Yeah.
Well,
Anyways.
You know what you're
anyways,
talking about.
You
Neil
know what I'm
before
talking
Zod.
about. Yeah, Neil before Zod.
Neil before Zod.
He ended up just being an old chancellor that got kicked out in like 10 seconds after you see him, and it's like, what? They wasted so much time to cast him.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for us today. Man.
They're playing
Everyone,
us off.
we gotta give a special thanks to you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much
much.
for
A
coming.
pleasure being here.
It
Yes.
was amazing. We loved having you. We're gonna make you come back, probably.
AfterBuzz for a long time. Yeah, I got to bring some friends out.
Oh, please,
Heck
bring them
yeah,
all.
we'll have a
Use the
party.
full-
We'll just put you guys up here, and we'll sit on the couch.
Yes.
you can have
and
the
we'll
whole
just
show.
go
And
and
eat
talk.
popcorn.
Yeah.
So, go ahead and give the people on Twitter and YouTube and
Oh,
everything.
thanks,
Tell Show us your stuff.
You can go JamesArnoldTaylor.com. Will take you to any of my various links, Twitter, Facebook, all of that, Instagram and stuff. But my handle on Twitter is @JatActor, J-A-T actor.
Okay.
And but if you go to my website, you can see my demos, you can see my videos, you can see my one-man stage show called Talking to Myself, which I'll be performing at Disney and Celebration and such. And it's a great show about voice acting, and I do about 200 different voices in it, from Christopher Walken to wait a second, Michael J. Fox, Great Scott, Marty, it's Doc Brown, so all those different things. And I talk about my life as a voice actor and Star Wars, and Obi-Wan makes an appearance. It's a lot of fun. So JamesArnoldTaylor.com is pretty much your one stop.
All right. Save Obi-Wan for us, because right after we announce everything, I want you to end this with "May the Force be with you" for our fans. We got to do it. So, Katie, tell the people where they can find you.
You can follow Megan at the Menguin, TheMenguin on Twitter. She will be back. We'll be back on Tuesday, 2 weeks from now.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you here. We will be coming back 2 weeks from now, but we're changing our day from Wednesday to Tuesday, and
Tuesday at 7
Tuesday
p.m.?
at 7. So, all right, finish.
And I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. I'm also on Doctor Who Classics Next and Arrow, which comes back on the 21st. Thank goodness.
All right. And guys, thank you for joining us again. Oh, man, we love seeing you. We love having you. Please hit us up on YouTube. Hit us up on Twitter. Give us those ratings. Give us those good reviews. We love it. Please. Thank you.
Where can they find you?
Okay. When I'm Dillon Chance, you can find me on Twitter at Dillon Chance.
What a coincidence.
Oh, how about that,
strange.
right? Yeah. So there you go. And finally, let us leave you with one last message.
Yes, listen, the Force will be with you. Always.
There it is.
There it is.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.